Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, welcome. My name's Monica and I decided to do a fantasy romance vlog for you guys in celebration of Pharaoh Feb, which is February for fantasy romances. My library hold for Divine Rivals came through. Also, Jess from Peace Love Books and Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers picked Book of Azrael for Ravished by Romance. And also, Jess from Honest Fiction on her Patreon, we're doing a Throne of Glass read along. I've never read Throne of Glass, so I was like, well, this is a really great one. And I also had Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I've heard a lot of great things about that. So I had it on my Audible for a while. I bought it in a sale. So I thought this was a great opportunity to read these books. So unfortunately, you're just going to get updates. So I do apologize in advance for that because I've already read these books, so I know how I feel. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end this intro here. So let's just get into my updates, and then I will be meeting you back here for my final update on the final book that I read. Hey guys, it is Saturday morning and it's the 3rd. I'm 50% of the way through of Divine Rivals. I'm on my way to see my son. It is his birthday. I just finished making his cake. I hit the 50% mark, and that's why I'm updating you now. Okay, I know everybody loves this book. It's definitely more historical fiction than romantasy. I agree with Tori on that one. I feel like there's definitely fantastical elements, especially around the typewriters. And there's some god stuff going around. The plot's interesting. The characters are interesting. I'm waiting for something to happen other than them talking. I'm waiting for action. That's what I'm waiting for. So I know this is more character driven than plot driven. And I generally am okay with that. I'm waiting for something to happen. I do like that they're talking to each other more so than what was originally going on. So right now for me, it's hovering at a 4-star, not a 5-star. It's not my favorite. Hey guys, I am waiting for someone to get here very quickly. I finished Divine Rivals and I'm giving it 4 stars. The ending really picked up, especially with the romance after she finds out who is on the other end of the typewriter. It ends on a cliffhanger. I will definitely be reading the second book because I want to know what happens. I'm just have to wait for my library hold. I do have the physical copy. I might just pick up the physical copy, but it's not going to be for this vlog. The character development's good. I really like the secondary characters. I like the primary characters. The world building is good. It's more historical fiction with fantastical elements more so than fantasy. I feel like could be more urban fantasy, I guess. It's not the type of fantasy that I'm used to, if that makes any sense. That's, I think, where my hang up is with this. So that's where I'm at. Anyway, but I did enjoy it. It's 4 stars. I needed more. Well, no, it's not that I need more. I think it was just different enough that it threw me, and that's what it was. But the story itself was really good. And I still think it's because I have that book hangover from House of Silver Flames. That very well could be the reason why I'm having problems, because nothing is hitting like the House of Silver Flames. So I'm going to just leave it here. I just started the Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. This is Ravished by Romance pick, so I decided to actually put this in this vlog since we are going to be reading it. And it's book 1, and I think in the Gods and Monsters series, and it is Romantasies. So I'm excited for this one. So when I get to 50%, I will update you. So that'll probably be tomorrow. All right. Hey guys, so there's literally going to be no B-roll in this vlog. I'm sorry. It's just that yesterday was a wash. I couldn't vlog everything. Today I got really busy getting everything done that I needed to get done yesterday, done today. And no cat's in here. Instead I have my dog in here and he's sound asleep. So I don't want to bug him. So I started reading the Book of Azrael yesterday, like I had said, and I was really confused by a whole bunch of it, okay? There was a tag that said the world ender meets the ender of worlds, which seemed... So I have ADHD, okay? And so sometimes I tend to, when I'm reading, I tend to skip over things in my head. And even when I'm talking, or if you notice sometimes when I'm making a comment, I will literally leave like whole words out. And that's ADHD for me. It's what it is, okay? So I thought that when I read that, I read it incorrectly. And because it means the same thing. So that's how the book felt to me. Like I was lost for a good portion of that book. There was stuff that happened that were supposed to be red herrings that made me upset that it was a take back of a red herring, or a take back of a death, I think. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to spoil it for anyone, because nobody else has read it yet in the book club. And the main villain, he has control over her, right? He has control over Diana, but it's not explained why he has control over her, like other than that he made her into this big bad monster. But what kind of monster is she? Like I thought she was turning into a dragon, and then it wasn't a dragon, it was something else, and I was like really confused by it. And then the vampires, which I was really excited about because I love vampires, right? They were wimps, they were pussies. I was like, what the heck? And I'm just like, I got a good 85% away through that book yesterday, right? And into this morning. And I was lost. So I looked up spoilers to see what was going on, to see if I was the only one that was lost. And there were people who were as completely lost as I was, and there are people who actually explained it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I figured out what it was. And I realized 85%. So I got through 85%. I even pulled the ebook off because the audiobook was not working, which is a thing. Like I'm an audiobook girl. Like they generally work for me more so than ebooks. So if the audiobook wasn't working and the ebook wasn't working, and I was still confused, so I ended up having to look up spoilers because I couldn't figure out what the plot was about, right? I called it at 85%. It was not going to happen. I did mark it as read yesterday because I was like, I'm going to mark it as read yesterday, which was Saturday night, because I was confused. But I went back this morning to see if I could figure it out. And then I talked to Crystal from Crystal's Bookish. life. I was like, did you read this? Because maybe you can explain it, because I'm new to romantic fantasy. And she hasn't read it. So at this point, 85%, I'm calling it. Then I moved on to Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And this book was really fun. It was fast-paced for the most part. It was a little long, but it was fast-paced. If I could sum up Powerless in one sentence, it felt like an early 2000 YA fantasy with X-Men abilities. That's what it felt like to me. It felt like if the Hunger Game and the Selection series had a baby and it had mutant powers, this would be it. That's what it felt like to me. And it had a love triangle with princes. And Peyton was part of the rebellion. The king was like President Snow, only less evil. That's how it felt like to me. That's what it felt like to me. It was a lot of fun. It was a very quick read. Well, I wouldn't say quick. It was a really long audiobook, but the narrators did a really fantastic job. I was engaged through the whole entire thing. It was a great time. I gave it 4 stars. It was a really solid book. It felt YA. It felt like it was from the early 2000s. And I enjoyed it. Hey, hi, hello. And I know this is light, but it is 6 a.m. and I am stopping to grab something on my way to work. So I'm just gonna grab my stuff. I have to run into the store very quickly. So yeah, I updated you guys last night. So yes, it was last night. I'm sorry, I'm a little discombobulated. I've been up since about 4:30 this morning because that's when I get up for work. And I decided not to take a break. I decided to go directly into a Throne of Glass. I am currently in chapter 12. And so far, I'm really, really enjoying this. I think book is going to be the best one out of every single fantasy, romantic fantasy that I have read so far in this vlog. She's definitely a badass. I liked that she attacked that the prince's consort. That was kind of a fun little point. That was definitely an interesting part. See, one of the things about getting up at 4:30 in the morning, I have time to read before work. Well, I get ready for work, because I don't have to leave my house till 5:30, but I'm listening to my audiobook between that and my commute in. So yeah, anyway, this is now they're getting ready to go to do these trials or fighting, and I like her. I like our protagonist. I think she is interesting. Dorian McKay. I'm now getting the appeal of Dorian so far. When I heard that name and the name of your cat, I'm starting to piece things together now. So, yes. And here comes another red light with someone coming on to go to the store. So I'm going to leave this update here. I will probably be reading. I will definitely be reading more this afternoon after work. Yeah. Good morning, you guys. I am 60% of the way through Throne of Glass, and I am really enjoying this. I really like Selena, and I like her relationship with Dorian. I'm not sure about Kale. I really like the mystery with who is killing the champions. That is so interesting. And then the magic and the king banishing the magic. That I can see why everybody's likes Throne of Glass. I know this is the beginning of the series. This is, I heard, was the weakest of the books. So I'm excited to see what Sarah J. Maas is gonna go from here. And then she had the necklace of the first, what was the most interesting to me was that she had the necklace of the first queen, and Dorian recognized it. I was like, okay, but who's killing the champions? I really want to know. And how are they doing that? Because obviously somebody conjured something horrible, and they're controlling it. And so, but I have no idea who it is. I have my suspicions, but I don't know. There's a red herring with that one girl in the library that was her friend, but that could be a red herring, that could be her. I don't know. I'm not sure about Kale though. Someone alluded that Kale has a reputation. I haven't really heard anything about this series other than it's a really good series. So I have not heard anything. I don't know anything about the series. Nobody's told me anything about this series. So I've heard nothing about this series. And I'm not kidding. Like, I just know this was a retelling of, I think, Cinderella. That's all I know about this. And then it just went off into this fantastical series. That's all I know. So I'm really going in blind here on this series. So I guess that's good. Because I know Jess from Peace Loves Books, she was saying that Kale has a bit of a reputation. But I have no idea than anything else. I haven't heard anything else because most people started talking and I just sort of tuned them out because I didn't know what they were talking about because I wasn't reading fantasy romance. So I was like, okay, they're starting to talk about a genre or a series of books that I had no idea what they're talking about. So I was just like, okay, whatever. I tuned them out. I can do that pretty well, actually. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I might just leave it to one book a month. As long as I don't have to wait years for each book. That's all I care about. Anyway, I am hovering about, because the others that I've read in these videos have been a solid 4. Because the one that I liked the best so far was, before this one, was Powerless, and I gave it a 4. I'm gonna give this one probably a 4.5 because so far this is the one that I liked the best in this vlog. And that's where I'm leaning toward. This is not a 5-star, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And I'm excited to see what happens next in this series. I'm leaning towards a 4.5. Pretty much because I really love the dynamic between the characters. I love the mystery. I love the mystery of this, of who's doing this, okay? But it's not a 5-star. I just finished Throne of Glass. The political intrigue was so well done. I mean, yes, this was very much YA. You can tell it was YA. You could tell that it was written in 2012, and that's fine. But, like, I was so invested in finding out who was killing the champions. I was so invested in Dorian and Kale and Selena's characters. I was invested in all of it. Like, I loved it, this book. This book was so fun. And it was just fast-paced, and I just had a great time with this. Is it a 5-star read? No. But I liked it the best out of all of them, so I am absolutely giving it 4.5 stars. It is just, like, the best. So let's just wrap it up here. The first book I read was Divine Rivals. That was a really, really solid start. I thought it was good. I mean, I felt like it was more historical fiction with magical elements more so than fantasy romance. And so it wasn't exactly what I was thinking it was going to be. That being said, it was still a good story. I gave it 4 stars. But then I tried to read the Book of Azrael. I was seriously confused on that whole entire book. I was like, what is this? I didn't get it. And I thought it was going to be vampires, and I thought it was going to be something else, and it just wasn't. And I just threw up my hands and I was done. So that is staying unrated, and I'm not gonna rate it, even though I read most of it. And then after that, I read Powerless. Listen, I really liked that book. That book was a lot of fun. I felt like if the Hunger Games franchise and the Selection franchise could have a love child with the X-Men franchise, it would be Powerless. That would be their love child. That could be, if that makes any sense, because if that makes any sense whatsoever, that's what it reminded me of. And I had a damn good time with this book. I really did. I will absolutely continue on in Reckless. Such a good time. I gave it 4 stars. It was fun. As you just heard, I finished Throne of Glass, 4.5 stars. Very great. I had a great time with that book. It's a solid beginning to a fantasy romance series, and I'm excited to read the rest of them. I binged the Akatar series last year. I kind of want to binge this one, but I'm keeping myself holding back from binging it because we're supposed to do a read along. So I'm trying. Okay, anyway, so those are my thoughts on all 4 books. Let me know if you have any similar or differing opinions on these books. If you liked them or not, let me know down below, because you might have a different point of view than I do, and I would love to hear about it. And if you made it this far in this video and you want to let me know that you've been here, but you don't want to comment on anything, please leave me a dagger emoji. And until next time, my friends, happy reading. Bye.